Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and especially the young diplomats here today. Well, cheer again like you did at the beginning of this session. Where are you? Woo. This day is especially for you, and I thank you all for joining this commemoration of World Football Day. Of course, we all love football, otherwise we would not be here. And this is the wonderful thing about football, how widely it's loved, watched, and played. It is truly universal. You can play it in a grand stadium, but you can also play it on a dusty field besides a highway. You can play it in backyards or in schoolyards, barefoot or in expensive shoes. And it doesn't matter what language you speak, the color of your skin, or what your parents earn. On the pitch, everyone is alike. And all that matters is only if you can get this damn thing into the goal, if you can take the corner kick well, or, and especially, if you are a team player. The power of sports can almost move mountains. Yet, sport is not isolated. It mirrors society. I would say ask almost any woman or girl how they came into football in the first place. And surely you will hear some moment or episode where they had to overcome an obstacle, if not to say setback. When I was a girl myself in the 80s, women before me in my country fought the battle against our football association to actually be allowed to play. But there were hardly any girls' teams, especially at the village where I lived. So my cousin, who desperately wanted to play football, at a certain age, when she was told that she's not allowed to play any longer with the boys, actually forced everyone in her whole family to join the girls' team so she could play. Unfortunately, I was a gymnast, so it didn't really work out for me on the field. Luckily, more than 30 years later, even the highest levels of football increasingly recognize their active responsibility when it comes to gender equality, and there have been immense strides. I don't know if everybody is aware, but how important the message was to the women and girls, not only in Afghanistan, that while the Taliban took away their education, their right to work or to play sports, that the Afghan Women United is now finally recognized by FIFA as the official Afghan women's team, opening the door for these powerful, inspiring women to play, despite the Taliban forbidding women's sports, is more what you can actually imagine to do for women equality. And this is deeply commendable, and I think it can be really a blueprint what else can be moved by sports. Because we all know that we still have a long way to go. If women teams are expected to carry the same responsibility, represent their countries with the same pride and inspire the same passion, then it's a little bit difficult to explain little girls that the men teams who will win the next football championship right now will have a compensation 3 times higher than the women team who just won before. So football shows us not only what fairness can look like, but it also reminds us how much more work we can do if we do it together. Not only with regard to gender, but in general terms on equality. Because it's hard to call it the world's game while half the world still has to fight harder for the space on the pitch. So initiatives like scoring for the goals or initiatives give every talent a chance is truly important, and I can only encourage everybody involved in football to increase their investments into it. And as a multi-billion-dollar enterprise with global reach, football also carries this special responsibility. If football unites us, it is in our own interest to do everything to counter what divides us in daily life. including standing up for the rules that make the game possible in the first place. So nobody in this room and nobody in the world questions that a game lasts 90 minutes. And that you cannot touch the ball with your hands except if you have a throw-in or except if you're the goalkeeper. And even if you're the most famous player in the world, you're not allowed to do this, otherwise you're sent off the pitch. And if you refuse that, you cannot play anymore. So the lesson is simple. Rules make the game we all love, football. And without rules, there would be no football. And the same holds true in these halls, our United Nations, built on simple rules like in football. And the understanding that everyone has to play by the rules, no matter how big or small, how powerful or rich. Otherwise, there would be no unity, no peace, and not even football. So I count on all of you loving football here today and loving football around the world, that you don't only uphold these simple rules while watching matches at the Toronto Stadium in Canada, or at the Mexico City Stadium, and at the New York, New Jersey Stadium right here in the United States, but remind each other, especially after the World Cup, of the lessons every kid learns, as we say in German, in the F-Jugend, our Pampers League, that you pick each other up when someone falls, that you respect the rules, otherwise you will never win. And that never ever forget that even the greatest superstars will not get the world trophy alone. Because indeed, we are always better together. I thank you.